See if this works. Come on. There he is. Can you hear me, Fabian? You gotta connect your audio up. Can you hear me? You gotta connect your audio. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
there we go.
All right.
That was pretty easy.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
This has been a huge pain in the ass to try to get this show going.
Well, as long as I don't touch any buttons, the rig can turn it off.
Yeah, don't touch any buttons. It looks like it's going okay.
Yeah.
So how's Fabian doing?
So I downloaded the app.
You downloaded the Zoom app?
Yeah, on this other phone that I'm using now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, not to do it on my that old iPod of some sort, iMac, iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes better this way.
There you go. Technology, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Damn lucky for that. It really doesn't work for me though.
I'm traveling right now, so I don't have my normal setup. I normally have fast internet out of my apartment and everything's fine, but I'm traveling and trying to deal with Wi-Fi in other people's houses and
Yeah. Well, I was down at the mine there right earlier, and I seen the time. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go. And I was with a lady friend. She was gone to meditate up in the mine, while I was taking care of the fireplace and the campsite. So
You
she
gotta
wasn't coming back, so I let her a note, and I'm saying, I'm headed back to your place to do the interview.
So you left her up there
I'm like,
meditating?
hilarious. Her, yeah. She does Reiki.
Yeah, I've done Reiki.
Yeah, she's into that stuff. Pretty incredible that we resonate so much, her and I together. It's like nuts. Like never would have thought that.
Wait, this is a new lady friend than the one you used to tell me about?
Yeah, new one.
Because
Yeah,
you told me
this
the
was
other one. You told me the other one was a little bit crazy.
yeah, traumatized and dramatized, and
Dramatized.
wouldn't want to let go. Right, like wouldn't want to learn and let go. Look at this guy.
Nice. What's his name? Is it a he?
Yeah.
Hi, kitty cat. He's pretty.
He is awful. He's awful.
He's awful. What?
Yeah, I call him Sylvester. Right next to the dog.
He's got a huge tail. His tail is so puffy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of cats around here, and they're hilarious. There's one there, this black cat that follows us everywhere, right? And it won't stop complaining and meowing, and complain,
What's he
I think it
complaining
got
about?
screwed. He realized it was a cat and said, "Hey, what's going on here?"
Is he a human trapped in a cat's body?
I think so.
So those animals are your girlfriend's pets?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Does she have any more, or just the cat and the dog?
She has a cat, a couple of cats actually, and the dog. And my buddy friend, he had a pit bull, which is Chico, which I don't know where the hell he is. And they're all loose, all the time. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're not tied or, but they know, Like Chico, he's a pit bull, a massive pit bull,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And he's like, I don't know where the hell he is.
Chico.
But my friend was gonna put him down because he had no place. Like he was in an apartment, not in tough times. So, and I had already bonded with the dog, like going over to my friends and that, right? So I'm like, no, you're not putting the dog down. Like he's gonna come with me.
Was
So I
it?
took him up, and he's at the line there with me.
Oh, nice. Was he sick or something?
No, no, he wasn't sick. It's that his the owner had to get rid of him or put him down.
So he was just gonna put down a perfectly healthy dog because he couldn't take care of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he couldn't. Nobody wanted it, and he couldn't have it.
That's
So I
not.
couldn't have that. So I said, "Here, give me the dog, man. I'll take it."
Do vets even do that? Like, will they put down a perfectly healthy animal?
Yeah, well, I guess they do. Yeah,
I've never heard of that. I've only heard of putting down sick animals.
yeah. Well, that's what it should be, eh?
Should be.
Or they might have put it into the SPCA until somebody took it up or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of animals going to the SPCA, and then if nobody adopts them for like 2 years, then they might get put down.
Yeah,
Is it cold up there in Canada?
yeah. It's getting chilly, man. At night in a tent there. Oh my god.
So how often do you sleep in the tent as opposed to staying in the house?
All the time. I've been outside all the time.
Yeah.
Never go in a house. Very rarely. Go in a house to make a cappuccino with Mary there at times. But we don't stay in the house long. Like, I'm back out, and I've never slept in the house all summer there since springtime, actually.
Wow.
Sleeping in a tent and, like, listening to the leaves and the trees, the birds, the crickets and everything there. It's like you're sleeping and you're waking up in the middle of the night, like, and it's like your bedroom.
Yeah.
It's like, in the middle of nature. It's like wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really beyond like fucking. And now trying to get as much knowledge from nature, right? Mushrooms and like acorns. Been picking acorns like buckets of these guys. Like,
Oh yeah. Do you eat
yeah,
them?
learning a lot. And like can't even pass. It's like it's an addiction now. Like I walk past these guys and I gotta pick them up.
What do you do with
It's
them?
like you gotta stop that.
Do you eat them, or you smash them
Yeah,
up?
yeah. Get a rock, get an area where you're really well in nature, where you can pass a day and you're really well seated.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just grab the rock and, if you got somebody even better, because then you can talk about stuff as you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of like you disappear into nature, man. At the end, you got to bring a big thing of these nuts, and then you crush them up, put them in water for like 24 or 48 hours to take out all the tannin out of it,
Mm-hmm.
that yellow stuff, which is bitter. And then you put it through a blender. You bring it into like almost like a mash. Then you take a cheesecloth and you string it out, all the excess water, bring it right down. And then you put on like a baking sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And you can either sun cook it in the sun, which is really good, or in an oven. And you cook it like just till it dries, yellowish like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really nice and dry, and then you blend it again, like in a mixer, and you bring it into a powder form, a flour, eh?
Like
you can
meal?
make like bread and biscuits and
Oh, nice.
make everything with that.
Do you put some type of yeast or something in there to make it rise, or is it just flat?
Yeah, I make my own yeast. Actually, I'm making some. Like you just take some grapes in a small bottle and you crush them up, and you put a balloon over the bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and then like within a day or two, the balloon will rise just a bit, and then you pick a hole in the balloon and you wait like another 7 days, and then you'll have like the top layer will be yeast, right? It's like a natural forming yeast.
Okay.
And you just take a little tablespoon and you add that to your stuff, right, to make it rise, and that's like a natural yeast.
How did you know how to make that? Did you learn that yourself or did somebody teach you?
Research,
Yeah.
YouTube, YouTube, man. Yeah, man. It's like that's where you get all the knowledge. Like you give and you know, you put it out and you get knowledge, and there's so much. Like I shared mushrooms with one of my friends because when I was young, like he's the one that showed me mushrooms. He was cooking mushrooms with eggs, and at home we never ate mushrooms with my family too much. Eh? It was always like in the oh, it's my buddy friggin' what the hell is he doing here? Wait, sit. Yeah. So.
Are you talking about the dog or there's an actual person there?
Yeah, yeah, man. We're gonna hold something just like
Is he gonna join the show?
yeah, buddy was going down to the mine. I'm like, go down to the mine. I'll be there later. The camp's down there, you know. Make yourself at home. What were we saying about the? Yeah, mushrooms. So he showed me just like store bought mushrooms, eh? Bacon and eggs, and I'm like, mushrooms? He goes, yeah, try it. We were always younger then, eh? So I tried it and was like, wow. So he showed me mushrooms. So I learned about wild mushrooms going through life, right? So like it was like last year or the year before. I gave him pictures of mushrooms I picked up, like the chanterelles and the oyster mushrooms and like that. And he's like, oh yeah. I go, dude, you like mushrooms? He's like, so he found some, and he just went ape shit on mushrooms. This guy, like, he brought me back like so much information on mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like, you see this? He has baskets of mushrooms. And like, you got mushrooms like that over there? He goes, yeah. Cooking them up and sharing recipes and stuff. So he thanked me. He's like, man, he goes, you just gave me a gift that just keeps on giving every year. You know what I mean? Like, and that's good. That's really good stuff. Like pine pollen. I can't even talk enough about pine pollen, man. It has, and I'm not sure about this, but I am. It has like DNA reparations in it. It can repair DNA. Yeah, it has like, and that is like, when I found out like 2-3 years about pine pollen, I was so pissed off, man. Like, why didn't I know about this? Like, yeah, it's like so easy. Like we're doing grain with tractors and having to do all this when pine pollen, man, it's a one-step process. You wait, you shake, and it's done. You got the finest, most pure powder, and it doesn't taste like pine or smell like pine at all. Like people think, oh, pine. No, the pollen, man, it has a nutty, yogurty smell to it. Like,
really?
And it's like, oh yeah, man, it is like, there's nothing like that. Like, and you could be like picking pine pollen off a pine tree downtown, right downtown on the city hall. It could be thousands of people walking around, but you're at the right place. You know what I mean? Like, there's like a connection with the pine tree that, and then anybody else that's coming by and say, hey, what are you doing there? Hey, come here. I'm picking pine, but then you share that,
Yeah, yeah.
Is it good? What is it good for? I'm like, what is it not good for? Like, this is a part of you, man. You put that on your skin. It's unbelievable. For the hair, like, I don't even know what it's not good for.
You can use it for like shampoo and stuff like that?
Well, just dust. Like, my buddy was like, he was picking it. He goes, I got some in my hair. My hair's so soft now. I'm laughing. It's like, jeez.
That
on
sounds.
your skin too, right?
That sounds kind of like the stories that you hear about peanuts. You know, remember somebody was like, you can make 10,000 different things with peanuts.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
So it's like
I mean,
multi-purpose.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. But I don't think of anybody ever being allergic to pine pollen. You know, like there's like when nature gives, there is so much, like so much, like acorns. It's like we can all start picking acorns, and there's going to be fucking as much acorns. Like you'll never pick enough of them. You know what I mean? And you can store this long time, right? If in a dry area, and always have some. If ever like things go wrong, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can be like a squirrel, just hide all your acorns away in the ground somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to get them to work for me, but they don't listen much. They steal all my acorns.
So, as far as like sustenance, like actual food, do you pick most of that, or do you find most of that in the forest too, or you still have to make grocery trips?
Yeah, I do groceries like like for the basic, like the sugar, the coffee. Well, there's chicory coffee, which I use a lot of too, which is like it's a replacement for coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Such a beautiful plant. The chicory plant is like wow, it's like a beautiful plant, and it doesn't. It's exactly like coffee. It'll trick your system. Like you'll drink it and think it's your neurons will actually think it's coffee. Like
Chicorin?
I think it's like one molecule different than coffee,
I'm gonna.
so it does the trick. Like
What's it? Do you know how to spell it?
Chickoroy, I think chicory,
Chicory.
chicory root. Yeah,
And
and that grows like
you grind it up and use it just as a
yeah.
powder.
You take just the root part. You take the root part. I don't even clean the root. I just like once it's dried, the dirt will come off, and the dirt that stays there, it's probiotics. It's going in the juice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's all
And
kinds of nutrients in the
what
dirt.
you chop that up, and then you roast it on in a pan until it gets like it's almost burnt. Like it's brown, and like you got a little bit. It might even start to burn. Then you can throw a little bit of like water on it to stop it from burning there, and
Uh huh.
dry it up, and then you blend that into like a percolator coffee, and you do the same thing as you do with coffee, like a percolator, but the taste is like wow. And then you like put more or less depending on your how you like it, right? Like I had made one once, it was like way too strong, like way too strong. And my buddy was like, oh no, he was set right off of it because it was too strong. So you got to really play with it until you get a good balance of it, right?
Too strong. When you say too strong, do you mean like flavor, or are you talking about it? It
Yeah, it's like it has a too much of a coarsey flavor, like so you gotta around the same amount as coffee. But I had put more because I didn't know. I was trying to, I
mm-hmm.
was just doing it by eye, so I put a lot because I really wanted to, When we do stuff, when we do baking, we always go more when we shouldn't go more. We should always go less.
Mm-hmm. Less is more.
Yeah, yeah. And we're picking up grapes also too. There, the other day I went with Mary, and what's cool with Mary is like she loves this stuff, right? And to connect with somebody that are the same, that loves go picking and harvesting stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
that's like, man, that's a godsend, actually.
So she's pretty stable. She internally stable.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. She's practicing, man. She's up there for sure. She has a house, and she's went through her drama and trauma, and she like goes to sessions of like meditation and sessions of silence, like.
Mm-hmm.
So she's right into the same things that we're all into, actually, like,
How did you
and
meet
not
her?
trying to. Uh,
How did you meet her?
she had bought in a house here last year or the year before, and but like we're just friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and she was like maybe 10, 15, well, 13 years ago, she was going out with a friend of mine, and it never worked out. They tried it, once or twice. It still never worked out. And he actually moved here like during this summer, spring, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the two don't mix actually pretty well. So he was triggered, right? And because they weren't together, she was just trying to help him out, and he couldn't let go of the past, right? So she had like boyfriends here, friends,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't. He was still connected to that kind of thing, So
Was he getting jealous?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And this is like 13 years ago, dude. Like you got to get over it. Like you got to move past that point. Like my ex, the mother of my child, Chantal,
Mm-hmm.
she had showed up at the mine once with her boyfriend, right? And he didn't know. Like, imagine this: she's going out with this guy, and this guy passes by the mine, and he sees me drumming and stuff. So that night, he goes, "I gotta show you something." So he brings her to the mine. Yeah, really awkward situation.
What did she say?
Well, she comes up to the fire with a smile. She goes, "Hi, Fabian," and he looks back to her. She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "This is my ex."
He thought he was showing her something
So
cool.
we had yeah, but he was a cool guy. Yeah. Like I want what's best for her. Like, so we had a couple of beers, and like she was taking pop shots at me, like left, right, and center. Right? Like she's bad. And she was going back into the past, and my two nephews were there, and they were like, they were like, "Don't go back there. We're here now."
Right.
So we had a couple of beers, had fun. Then she came back like the year after when I was in the teepee, and I had my child Kyle, and I had a few friends over that they were playing harmonica and they were singing like Quebec music. And when he came into the teepee, her boyfriend, he looks at me and he's like looking at the place. He goes, "You're really crazy, you." I look at him, I go, "Yeah." He goes, "This is like the friggin' that Game of Thrones, I guess the show he was watching or something like
Uh-huh.
that there." He goes, "This is like that. I want maybe something like that. I don't know." So he was blown away by that, by the guys playing the harmonica and that there. He was really into that. It was funny.
Was he mainly like a city person? Like he didn't know too much about people
Oh yeah, yeah,
roughing it
big
and
city
whatnot?
person. Yeah, he works in computers and stuff, right?
Okay.
But he was a cool guy. I don't think she's with him anymore though.
You still talk with her?
Less is possible. Like if when she talks, it's about money. You know what I mean? It's like bottom line, it's money.
Does she
And
work?
I'm like, hey, I got knowledge. That's the only thing I'm dealing in is with knowledge.
You might be interested in watching
Yeah.
the interview I did with Giedris. He's kind of similar. Like he goes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes out and he goes foraging and he's all into learning just learning about nature essentially and learning what it can produce for people and how to actually live in harmony rather than the thing that the city people do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was alone so much, like over the years, like constantly alone, right? And like the problem I had is that like I was so well, and knowing that other people would need this. You know what I mean? And they're rejecting it. Like they won't let themselves go there.
Mm-hmm.
When I can get them there really fast, if they just let it go. You know what I mean? Let go of shit.
Right.
Like I have a really good friend who's back a little bit farther than where I'm at, right? And he's working and stuff, and like he goes, come and help me. Well, I go and help him, and it's like hell. It's like he has a whole bunch of clutter, man, garbage, not garbage, but metal, collecting lots of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which he has to bring every time he moves. And I'll help him for a bit, and I'll just turn around and walk the fuck away, you know, like, it's hilarious. Like, we both trigger each other, you know what I mean? He's the only fucker that can trigger me. Like, the other day he comes and gets me, it's like, it's starting to get dark. He goes, come, I got to show you a spot. It's right off the road. He goes, lots of trout fish. He goes, it's a paradise. Bring the four-wheel. So I go with him, get off the road. He gets his chainsaw, stops the truck. I'm like, dude, he goes, I'm going to make a trail. It's not far. We start to walk in the woods. It's like 2 miles in. I go, dude, like, no, I'm going back to the camp, my camp. You know, he goes, no, you'll see we're well. I'm well at my camp, dude. I don't need to go there. You know what I mean? See ya. Friggin' guy, eh?
He was trying to bring you out, like, miles out into the wilderness. What was he?
Yeah, like.
What was he trying to find?
So late in the day.
Fishing?
Eh?
What was he trying to find?
Eh? Well, he wanted to go fishing and show me this, like, beautiful place. But it's like, dude, it's a workout just to get there. Like, we don't need to go anywhere to find a beautiful place. We're already in a beautiful place. You know, like, yeah. Like, he'll ask me, come and help me, and he's in a rush for stuff, right? He goes, give me a sec, I want to make a fire to make some toast. So he leaves, and he goes and cuts down an old tree to make toast. He has a big fire pit, eh? I go, dude, you need to cut a tree down to make some toast. You need just a couple of branches. Like me, my fire is small, you know? Like, he goes, it took him like 3 hours just to make a set of toast, for God's sake, dude. You know, like...
Yeah, it's like wanting to drive somewhere and then going and making the tires and making the engine and like making everything from scrap when you can just hop in your car and go away.
Yeah. Oh, it's just too much, like, sometimes. And I told him, I'll help you. But now I'm going to really help you. So if you want help, you get your fucking ass back to my zone. Like, because I'm not going to help you in your hell. Because it's going to create hell for me. It's, you know? Because I'm still. If you want help, come with me. Be still. Let that shit go, man. Then now I can help you. You know? Not by running after your friggin' junk. I can't help you.
Well,
placing this, placing that.
Well, people's hells are contagious, right? You get around someone who's got a bad...
Oh my god, it's nuts.
It's like it rubs off on you if you don't watch out.
Oh yeah, you'll be right in there with them, trying to help them in their hell.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want this? Over there. Oh, 2 weeks after, no, I'm moving it over here.
Just rearranging material objects, right?
Yeah, like I'll help everybody, but I won't help you in some idiotical labor thing, you know? Like for a trip, you know, like a head trip. I want to put tiles here. I got some tiles, and we're gonna go get them, put them here. And I go like, yeah, okay, but as long as I don't get them, I don't have to in a year have to pick them up from here and bring them to another place, you know. Because I don't even have furniture, you know. I got a backside, dude. That's why.
So you're still pretty minimalist, even with being a forest person. You don't have like a ton of stuff you're carrying around, right?
No, I don't want a ton of stuff. Yeah, the guy had brought me like a propane thing, and I'm like, dude, like that's nice, but after I got no propane, what the fuck? That thing is no more good for me. You know, I still need to go get propane.
You can use it as a bludgeoning device, you know, if you need to smack something.
Yeah. Could put it in a fire, blow it up, and the bears come around, maybe.
Yeah. I like fireworks. especially homemade ones.
Oh yeah, propane blows like a son of a bitch. That one.
Have you ever?
I had my nephew. He had a CO2 capsule in a fire one. Say it does a little CO2 caps for the guns there.
Uh
Man, that blew a hole in the ground. That son of a bitch. Everybody's like sitting there. Boom!
huh. Did it blow the
No
whole
more
fire to
fire.
pieces? Did it like blow out the
Oh yeah,
fire?
there's no more fire. Just a hole.
That's awesome.
Yeah, not at the time though.
I mean,
Yeah.
were you guys too close? Like, did anybody get singed or?
No, we were at a well. It's still dangerous, but we were at a good enough distance there. He knew nobody was gonna get hurt, but everybody was gonna be fucking tripping.
But he's done that before. He's thrown a CO2
Yeah,
cartridge.
yeah.
Okay.
I had to throw a can of beans once, in a fire, a big can of beans. This is after 9/11, not long, so I'm like a little bit groggy, so I sit down making bacon and eggs, throw a can of beans in the fire, and I don't open it, you know. So I'm like, so I walk over to flip over the eggs, and all of a sudden it's like, boing, it's like a ringing, and it's like ash everywhere, and like my girlfriend's like a couple of feet back, and she's jumping up because she has like a little bit of beans on her fucking on her legs, and so she's like, it was hot.
The beans just exploded.
I got my niece coming outside, looking around, and saying, "What the fuck? Who's shooting the 12 gauge at this hour in the morning?"
So the beans
I was
just
like,
exploded.
"Oh, it's okay." Oh yeah, it detonated, man. That was like,
I've never heard of beans
I
exploding.
thought somebody was shooting at me.
That's pretty cool. Hey, Fabian, I'm this time because we're a little bit low on time, so I
Yeah,
wanna
cool, man.
I wanna bring this one to a close, and we can have like 5-10 minute
Yeah,
break, go get some water or pee or whatever you need to do, and then we'll
yeah, yeah.
come back for segment 2 in just a
Cool.
few minutes. I'll keep the
Sounds good.
I'll keep the Zoom call on though, just so we don't have problems reconnecting.
Okay. If I just keep it like this,
Yeah, yeah. So I'll see you in a bit, okay?
cool. All right, man.
All right.